Welcome to Comics Are Awesome, brought to you by Alter Ego Comics. I'm Mark.
And I'm Josh.
And we're both freezing. It is super cold, I guess. We're in that part of the country that is well below zero. Was -4 when I got up this morning. Not good, not good. It's going to be cold for a while, so I guess we better get used to it. Josh, get used to it.
No.
Other than being here to whine about the cold, we're here to talk about this week's best comics. And this is the last new comic book day of 2017. My pick of the week is Teen Titans number 15, Super Sons of Tomorrow Part 3, written by Peter Tomasi and Patrick Gleason, artwork by Ed Benes. And this continues the excellent story of... I can't spoil it, can I? Because it's only been a week. I mean...
Yeah.
Okay, so someone is hunting down Jonathan Kent, the lad known as Superboy. And the Teen Titans and Batman and Superman and Damian Wayne, a.k.a. Robin, are all trying to stop this person. And we've also got some future people involved. I can't say too much without giving away the whole story, but I will tell you that this has been a very pleasant surprise, and I shouldn't really be surprised because it's Tomasi and Gleason who are really in their wheelhouse here when they're writing Batman, Superman, Superboy, Robin, all kinds of good stuff. Artwork is top-notch by Benes. Or Benet, or I'm not quite sure. I believe he's Brazilian. Not entirely sure. But the first two parts were spectacular out last week. We actually sold out of technically both of them. Hopefully we'll be getting some more in. And we've got Teen Titans number 15 is the third part. Don't overlook it like someone else did this week.
Sorry. First up for me this week, we've got Star Wars Storms of Crait. This is a one-shot, and I think we're basically in line with the Star Wars comic, the main series one. It's sometime after the destruction of the first Death Star. I think that's pretty much where we found it, right? More or less?
Yeah,
we don't get anything like
talks
solid.
About, having to find a new rebel base and blah, blah,
right.
blah.
And that crazy stormtrooper squadron that's always hunting them down is in it. So in case you couldn't tell from the cover, Luke and Leia and Han and all of your Star Wars favorites are going to Crait, that planet from the end of The Last Jedi with the weird salt red earth stuff going on. So I guess this is something of a spoiler for Last Jedi, but there was a old school rebel base there in the movie, and now we get to find the rebels looking for a base. I don't know. This was really good. It's written by Ben Acker and Ben Blacker, who've written a couple of different things. They're best known for some adventure thing, Our Adventure,
I have no idea.
Comedy Monkeys. But they've written some Deadpool stuff and other stuff from Marvel. Art by Mike Mayhew, longtime Star Wars artist, and he's going to the
Longtime photorealistic artist.
But I liked it. I like Han and Leia and Luke, and I like Adventures and Chewie. And I felt like we got kind of a different tone than we get in the Aaron or the Gillen versions. I think because it was a one-shot, they kind of felt like they could throw stuff in there and be a little, I don't want to say schmaltzy, but like we get a lot of lines that are very specific.
Use your words, Josh.
And I liked it. If you like Star Wars, it was good.
It was, and a slap on the wrist to Marvel for not branding this with a Star Wars The Last Jedi banner, which should totally be on this. So again, I think there's only a monkey and Willie Lumpkin working at Marvel these days, so who knows. But this is an excellent book. It just should have been totally branded with the Last Jedi banner.
It's only made like $500 million at the box office. Nobody's heard of that.
Yeah. Yeah, and oddly enough, in the order form for us to order this, it's Star Wars, The Last Jedi, The Storms of Crait. But nowhere is The Last Jedi to be found on the cover of this comic.
Or on the inside of the comic, for that matter.
I spit on you. The Invincible Iron Man 595 is next up for me, written by Brian Michael Bendis, artwork by Stefano Caselli and Alex Maleev. The Search for Tony Stark, Part 3. This has been excellent. Did I say that right?
I think so.
Okay.
Part 3? Yeah.
Sometimes words just tumble out of my mouth and they don't sound the right way. I had a flashback, like I didn't say it right. Anyway, Search for Tony Stark Part 3. This has been excellent from the get-go. Coming out of the gates for Legacy. Tony was in kind of a self-induced biomechanical coma at the end of Secret Empire, and we get to see kind of where he is now. And where he is missing because he has disappeared from his hyperbaric chamber and everyone is looking for him, including Riri Williams, Ironheart, Doctor Doom, the Invincible? No, the Superior Iron Man, or whatever he is.
Infamous. Was the title of the
that's
book.
right, Infamous
I think
Iron
he just
Man.
calls himself that.
Mary Jane, his British mom, rocker chick, a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent that I really know nothing about because I didn't read that storyline. But that's okay. Artwork is top-notch, as usual. And for me, 50% of the book is art. I mean, this sounds stupid saying 50% of the book. 50% of my enjoyment of the book is based on artwork. And the artwork is great in here. Maleev handles the Doctor Doom stuff. Caselli handles the Iron Man and Iron Man family stuff. And it's just really, really solid. Can't wait to see kind of where this goes since Bendis is wrapping up his tenure at Marvel Comics. And he's going out with a bang.
Yeah, and 100% of the enjoyment for books for me is words, and Bendis writes the words good. Two other Bendis books out this week, Jessica Jones 15, which continues her conflict with the Purple Man Kilgrave, and Spider-Man #2, issue 5, that's the end of the series. I will say, if you are reading Miles Morales' Spider-Man, or the Adjectiveless Spider-Man, I guess is the actual title of the book, you absolutely need to pick up Spider-Man 2. I don't know, maybe my memory's not great, but I feel like those two books are basically telling an interconnected story about where Miles is at, and they're both awesome. Also, did you get this?
I did not. I haven't read the last several issues. I plan on reading it.
We see, I don't know exactly what. The plot is the other Miles Morales, the Miles Morales from the main Star Wars?
From the 616. We're not supposed to say it, but...
But is trying to get back to his home dimension, or he's basically trying to get somewhere. His wife is dead. He wants to go to another dimension where his wife is still alive, which is not in and of itself a bad thing. He's kind of a scumbag. But we go to some other dimension that has a grouping of characters that looks remarkably like the Ultimate Avengers, except that's...
not Tony.
It's Riri. They refer to her as Riri, and so I don't know chronologically how any of that works out. So I'm actually kind of excited to see if they do anything with that, or if it's just a throwaway. But yeah, if you're reading Miles, you have to read Spider-Man. You have to. I'm sorry. I'm not that sorry. It's good. Next up for me, Phoenix Resurrection, written by our boy Matthew Rosenberg, with art by Sugar Ray.
Laniel Francis Yu.
Okay, that one too. Who doesn't know how to convert into meters, it turns out. So this is the story of...
so that's Rosenberg, not you.
I don't know. Well, presumably Rosenberg wrote the script and gave it to you.
Yeah,
and you...
so I don't know if you can put all the blame on...
I'm just saying, if it says 1.6 meters, they shouldn't be like this far off the ground beneath Wolverine's knees. Even feet, that's not right.
Science, kids.
That's just measuring. That's not even
math.
Science. So this is the story, probably, of the Phoenix coming back, the return of Jean Grey, maybe, why not? Honestly, like a lot of X books, there's a whole bunch of crap happening with a whole bunch of people, and it's not really clear what any of it means.
It is issue number 1.
It is, no, and I'm not. That's not a negative. I mean, I don't want a book where I pick up the first issue, I know how everything's going to go. I like to be surprised.
Yeah, what's up
and
with that?
It did that. We've got X-Men fighting in places from their history, villains that may or may not be who they appear to be. Pretty much. I can't think of any important X-Men that aren't in here in one capacity or another. And we do get some appearances by people with red hair and fiery birds from the sky and Hugo Strange Beast. And it's a lot of fun. If you're an X-Men fan, it's kind of a must-read. Especially if you're a Jean Grey fan, you like the classic, the old school team. But we get all the X teams in here, more or less. And I didn't notice it until they drew them standing next to each other, but Chamber and Gambit are basically the same person. Like, they're going to make out here, for one thing. I'm
pretty hard-pressed to tell you anything about Chamber. That was during the dark days of the X-Men for me.
Yeah.
Generation X was not my jam, and Chamber, he says scarf.
Was he in the movie?
Face.
The TV movie they did with Matt Frewer?
I don't know.
I don't think he was, because they would have had to
make...
Did it
even air?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a VHS of it. I don't have a VHS tape player
if you would
play
like
it
a
on,
copy,
but,
send a self-addressed stamped envelope large enough for a VHS tape to Josh at Alter Ego Comics.
I don't do that. But no, I enjoyed it. That's illegal, for one thing. And Foxes may be owned by Disney now, and they'll come after me. So yes, Phoenix Resurrection, Fire in the Sky.
I saw that movie. It's about alien abduction. D.B. Sweeney. There was probing. Fire in the Sky, people. Go check it out. My final selection this week, Batman Detective Comics number 971. Written by James Tinney IV. Artwork by Miguel Mendonca? Yep. Mendonca. Tatanka. Fall of the Batmen, Part 3. We appear to be on the brink of the dissolution of Batman and Batwoman's team. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Anything can happen here. But we've got the Victim Syndicate, I believe is their name. People that are kind of like collateral damage in Batman's war on crazy people in Gotham. Crazy supervillains. And for those of you that have been following this book from the beginning, I don't really have to tell you to pick this up because you're probably picking it up already, but I really cannot say enough good things about Detective Comics in the Rebirth era. Yeah. It is top-notch. Month in, month out, twice a month, all the time.
Yeah, Detective Comics would be the best Bat book on the stands, except Tom King's Batman is also super amazing. Like any other time period, with the possible exception of the Snyder area, this would be the best Bat book to read. But right now, we just happen to have an embarrassment of riches.
I can't remember a time when Batman and Detective were neck and neck. We're both outstanding, and that's the way it is. King's book is getting a lot more love, I think, just because it's adjectiveless Batman, because it's the core, essentially, book. However, Detective Comics is where Batman first showed up, so that's the one you should be sticking with. But both, I mean, really, we love them both.
Who was doing Batman when Snyder did the Dick stuff? When Dick Grayson was Batman, yes. Snyder's first stuff, Black Mirror, because that was in Detective, and Detective was good, but I don't remember what was in Batman.
I don't even know.
Probably nothing as good as
Might have been
Black
Grant
Mirror
Morrison.
Was. Okay, so not good. I mean, not great, uneven.
And if you're a fan of Clayface, this is a heartbreaker.
You can kind of tell when you read comics how old the writers are, or the people conceiving the story. Because generally, if you like Clayface a lot, you probably were young during Batman the Animated Series, because he's not really important until then. I mean, he's been around forever, different versions of him, but that's kind of the iconic version now, is the Animated Series, which is definitely what we're getting.
You got writers in their 30s and...
or 40s. Or
40s, 20s, I don't know. Writers of all ages. Detective Comics is a must-buy. Every time it comes out.
Even if the cover has nothing to do with what's in the book.
Yes, I don't know what is going on there. Apparently they...
I think that's a Dark Knight's Metal cover they just
contracted, what's-his-face, Gilliam March to do a bunch of covers that had nothing to do with the inside of the book. So they're taking a page from Marvel, and Marvel of old.
Last up for me, plenty of awesome stuff this week. So we've got the second issue of Doomsday Clock. That's written by some guy named Jeff Johns and drawn by...
Gary Frank, man.
Gary Frank, I don't know what that is.
God,
but
you really don't know anything about artists, do you?
I don't. No. It's pretty, but it's awesome. It continues the story of the Watchmen universe. And again, way more Watchmen than DC. We get more DC this time, but which I still find encouraging, oddly enough. Also, Batman Creature of the Night, the Kurt Busiek, Jean-Paul Leon book that... isn't he Azrael? Is that? No, that's someone else. Part 2 of Creature of the Night. Is this 3 or 4?
That's 2.
No, I'm saying it's a 3-part series.
I believe it's 3 parts.
Okay. Story of young Bruce Wainwright, and I still don't really know what's going on in this book, but I love it. It's super awesome. If you're a Bat fan, it's lots of fun. And also on the metal front, we've got Hawkman Found. Spoilers for last week's issue of Dark Knight's Metal. They may or may not find Hawkman.
He may or may not look anything like you remember.
Yeah. And this is a Hawkman story by Jeff Lemire and art by Brian Hitch. Brian Hitch?
Yeah, it is.
Someone
Brian
named Hitch. Okay.
And finally, it's cold outside.
Baby, it's cold outside.
If you are a trade waiter for Saga, the best comic series being published today, Volume 8 is out this week. So that should mean that we get the next issue next week, maybe?
Next month. I don't know if it's next week.
But this is collecting a bunch of issues that are not listed on the back. So it starts with a 25-cent issue, maybe?
6 for 8. So...
Yeah, whatever. 48 issue, 42 to 48, 43. I can't do math.
43.
This is a great volume. They're all great volumes, but I don't think I read that issue.
This is the one that started with the 25-cent Welcome to Abortion Town.
Welcome to Abortion Town.
Yeah, and I can't say enough good things about Saga.
But that's the one with
Yeah, no. Yeah. Well, every issue of Saga breaks my heart, but
there's a lot of heartbreaking this week.
There was a lot of moving forward in this plot, though. Like,
yeah. Sometimes it's treading water, and I
don't think it's treading water. I just think it's a pacing thing.
Yeah.
But usually by the end of every volume, there's something heartbreaking that happens, but in a good way.
So come and get Saga 18. Pick it up.
Get your heart broken.
Your local comic shop. Yeah, get your heart broken this week at your local comic shop. So that's it. All kinds of other stuff. We have to go sling some comics and open the store if anyone braves the Arctic temperatures here in Ohio. But hopefully you'll be able to make it out to your store. If you enjoy this week's episode, give the video a thumbs up. That should get it in front of more people, I think, or so they say.
I don't know how logarithms work.
Yes, and join our private Facebook group for Comics Are Awesome, so we can continue the conversation about comics that are awesome. Until next time, America. Until next time, we'll see you next time. Man, this is a rough week.
Too many next times.
Rough week. Thanks for making it this far.